This happened last year. Me and my friends had the bright idea to get fucked up on a Wednesday, so we got some weed and beers. There's a railway near our dorms, and it was the place to go to smoke, drink, etc. It was really cold, so 2 of my friends already had started drinking to warm themselves up. Just on the way there, I was having a weird feeling like we shouldn't be there. I disregarded the feeling to just me trying weed for the first time. We eventually got there, sat on the rocks that were there, and we started drinking and passing the joint around. After 10-ish minutes, I heard a twig snap. I asked Mr. Friends, but none of them heard it. My one friend who was the closest to me said you probably imagined it. When you get high, you get hella paranoid. I accepted it because I've heard it's normal. After a couple more minutes, I heard some shuffling in the bushes. Think of a small trail path and there being a circular area with big rocks and the rest of it being bushes and trees. If you looked at it from a bird's eye view, it would look like a tree. This time, me and 2 of my other friends heard it. We looked at each other. One of my friends looked at the other 4 who were still talking and said, "Did you hear that?" Our oldest friend said, "Really, you 2 now. Nothing's there." The minute he said that, we heard a whisper say, "Are you sure?" in my raspy voice. It sounded how a woman who's been smoking for years and just woke up would sound. The way the voice sounded also made it impossible for someone to impersonate the voice, so we all knew it wasn't a college student. We were all frozen. Then we heard that same voice laugh. It wasn't a laugh that would be made from someone laughing at something funny, but it sounded sinister. Then, we heard the bushes shuffle again, so we all booked it back to our dorms. I don't think any of us have ever ran so fast. Normally, it would be a 5-minute walk, but we turned it into a 1-minute run. I really wish I could say this was it, but it wasn't. I always liked living off campus, but this was the one time where I really wished I lived in campus. At about 2 a.m., I had to go back to my place, so I got my stuff and started walking back. The bus was down that day, so I couldn't take it, and I had to walk 25 minutes to get to my place. The minute I left my friend's dorm, I had a bad feeling. I told myself, it's fine, you're just being paranoid, plus someone had to have been playing a prank. After 5 minutes, I had a feeling that I was being followed. I looked behind me and didn't see anyone behind me. I looked behind me every 30 seconds, and each time there wasn't anything there. When there was 5 minutes left, I heard the same shuffling in the bushes, and I froze again and stared exactly where I heard it. I stood there for at least a minute. The only reason I actually started moving was because I heard the same laugh. I ran as fast as I could and made it to my apartment main office in less than a minute. There's always a cop in the front of the office, and when he saw me, he looked really concerned and asked me what happened. I didn't want to tell him, but what choice did I have? I told him that I heard some weird laughing in the bushes and it scared the shit out of me. He asked me where. When I told him, he nodded and said, "Utah, huh?" I asked him what he meant, and he said that 3 other people have told him about it, and no one could figure out what it was. He told me that I should start taking the bus and come back to my place earlier. I said, "Yeah, I will," and walked off. Again, I wish I could tell you this was where it ended, but it didn't. When I got back, I took a shower and got in my bed and tried sleeping. When I fell asleep, I woke up and thought it was weird that I woke up from how tired I was, and when I checked the time, it said 4:36 a.m. This was even weirder because that meant I only sleep for sound 45 minutes. That's when I heard that same laughing again. I laid up and looked around, and when I looked straight, I saw the shadow of something. It didn't look human, but it didn't look like an animal either. It was on all fours, and what it said after scared me to the point where I stopped sleeping in my apartment and pretty much moved into my friend's dorm. It said, in that same voice, "I know you're in there, my name, and I know you're up," and it laughed. That entire night I just lay down, trying not to cry from fear. I didn't have to really worry about it for much longer because it was a week before finals week, and I'd gotten accepted to another school that I wanted to go to. I don't really ever tell this story because, from the people I've told, they either thought I was joking or I wasn't fully sober. I know exactly what you heard that night, and I know I wasn't hearing things.